Spring is here, and so are ramps. In this episode, we're going to show you how to forage for them, find them in the woods, dig them, and clean them. Stick with us. We can't wait to show you how. So, ramps, wild leeks. It is truly what Chicago, the city of Chicago, is named after. These buggers grow in the woods. They pop up around middle to late April into early May, sometimes a little bit longer depending upon the season, but they are a springtime chef favorite. Foraging is the art of, honestly, going out into the woods and finding edible things, picking them or digging them, bringing them back to eat them. Lots and lots of chefs that I know have safe places that they know that they can go get them in the woods that they kind of keep secret and safe. They call them a honey hole. Other chefs will have people go forage them for their restaurants as well. They are highly sought after, not only for their flavor, their color, and all of the different versatility that they have, but it's also because the season is so short. It is kind of a fleeting thing, so chefs love to get it onto plates as quickly as they can. It's also the sign that spring is here and summer is on its way too. And in our area, especially with our winters that we have, we always get excited about this time of year because they are green and they taste fantastic. Now, we have a ton of things that we can do with them, but in order to do that, first we need to get out into the woods to get them. So we're gonna hop in our van. We're gonna take a field trip with you. We're gonna show you kind of where we go to grab ours. We're not gonna tell you exactly where, because again, that's kind of a secret. We're gonna take your sister and mom too, because we're gonna make it family day. We're gonna show you how to find them, dig them, clean them, and then we're going to talk about a few things that we're going to do with them. Now, in this episode, we're not necessarily going to cook with them. That will come in later episodes. We'd love it if you would like, subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell notification so when we actually do start cooking with these, you're going to be the first to find out. So, Xander, we need to grab our boots, because right now we're wearing our shoes. Even though you can't see them under the table, we're wearing our red shoes, and we don't want to get them muddy because it is pretty muddy out in the woods. So, we're gonna grab our backpack and our tools. We're gonna get your mom and sister in the car with us, and we're gonna head out. We'll see you in the woods.
Bye.
All right, dude, we found them. See all of the green sticking out above the leaf matter?
Yeah.
We hiked about 15-20 minutes into the woods, and we went right to where we knew that these ones were. We were looking for all of the oak trees. You can see all the oak leaves here. Ramps love wet, damp ground with the leaf matter to kind of hide it, and it's basically natural mulch. There's water off behind this hill here. They want to stay nice and warm, plenty of dappled sunlight. Do you remember what a ramp is?
It's an onion.
It's an onion. And where are we? Are we in the wild?
Yes.
So it's actually a wild leek. And a leek is a type of onion too. These taste a little bit spicy, like raw garlic and onion too. We love them for all sorts of different things. Anywhere you can use an onion, we use them. We'll pickle the stems and bulbs. We'll puree the leaves. You can dry them, turn them into powder. You can make salad dressings with them. You can saute them. We're gonna do a whole bunch of stuff with them in our kitchen, and we can't wait to show you in our videos here as we go along. In order to get these home, we have to dig them up out of the ground. We steward our earth and gifts that we've been given really well, right? So in order to do that, we're not gonna take too many. We're gonna take exactly how many we need. We're gonna take a couple of handfuls, and we've got some equipment to do that for us too. So we bring a small backpack with us every time that we go out. And in our backpack, we've got our water so we don't get dehydrated. But we bring a couple of tools. Set this off to the side here. We bring a couple of bags to carry them out in, just regular recycled bags from the grocery store. And then we bring a trowel, and sometimes we'll bring
a little weed puller as well. This will get down in. So the ramps grow in the ground, underneath the ground, and all this leaf debris. So in order to do this, you're going to clear out the leaf debris, some of the sticks too. See how moist this ground is. That's good for pulling ramps. You're going to take your trowel, because it's a little bit under here, push in and pull up. You're going to start to hear the roots give way because they're connected. You're going to grab at the base and you're going to pull up gently. And there you are. There's the ramp bulb right there. The roots, the stem, the leaves, and everything there is edible. We'll go home and clean these up, and then we'll do some recipes with them back in our kitchen. All right, kids, it's your turn. Let's do it.
Okay.
So now that we've gotten all of the ramps that we need, we're just grabbing a couple handfuls again because these ones are young. We'll come back in a week or so and they're going to be about that big. The bulbs will be nice and big and plump, and that's exactly where we want them. But again, this is first of the season. We were super excited. We wanted to get out in the woods. So we've only taken what we needed. Now the rest of them, we're always, no matter what size patch we find, and we're going to find them in patches just like this one, we want to make sure that we're leaving at least half to 3/4 of that patch left, because these ramps, the roots will continue to spread. And it takes about 3 years for a ramp to be ready to be harvested. That's when it'll start to reseed and the roots will be big enough that this will be an established patch. There are a lot of people that come foraging out in the woods thinking that they can just harvest every single one that they see and take them to sell them to other chefs. That, to me, is not stewarding our space properly. So we always want to leave some to continue to propagate, and we want to leave some for the next person to come back out and get the ramps too.
Okay.
When we're outside too, one more final really important rule, especially with little ones, especially with kids, is never eat a wild plant. Green, red, purple, blue, nothing, no matter what. Do not eat a wild plant without asking an adult for permission. Dad and Mom have been foraging for a lot of years, so we know what's safe and what's not. Ramps are safe, but there are other things out here in the woods that look tasty to eat that'll make you really, really sick. So we don't want to do that. So always ask when you pick a plant if it's edible or not, okay?
Okay.
These ones, however, they're edible. You kids want to try them?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me what it tastes like, buddy.
It tastes like onion.
Tastes like onion?
But it doesn't have the vinegar like our pickled red onions.
So it tastes like an onion?
Uh-huh.
Is it spicy? Is it sweet? Is it salty?
It's saltly spicy.
Slightly spicy. Awesome. Now your
And
breath is
salty.
gonna stink now, isn't it?
Well, worth it.
It's worth it, huh?
Mhm.
Good.
Ready, Dad?
Okay, go ahead. What do you think, Pace?
Great.
Is it great?
Yeah.
What's it taste like? Tasty, huh?
Yeah, tasty.
We love being in the woods.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna head on home.
All right, well, that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
A lot of hiking. We hiked for a couple of miles, and we did have a lot of fun. And we saw a lot of things too. Do you remember what we saw in the woods?
Well, obviously sticks.
We saw a lot of sticks. Yep. We saw some wildlife too, but we had a lot of fun. We also saw some woodpeckers too out there. That was pretty cool.
And some black
And
squirrels.
some black squirrels. Now that we're home with our ramps, these ones are clean. specifically for this part of the video. But all of the ramps that we harvested out there now have all of the leaf matter and dirt on them that we picked up when we were digging them. So now we need to move over to the sink. We're going to take as much of the leaf debris out of our bag as we possibly can, and any sticks and twigs or any bugs that have moved out of the bag while they were traveling, because we may have accidentally brought some friends home. We're going to take our friends outside. Any bugs like beetles or spiders, we're going to move them back outside so they can keep doing their thing. But now that we're over at the sink, now we need to clean these. Now this is one of the harder parts about foraging is the cleaning process, but it's the most important too, because we want a clean product to cook with. So we're going to remove as much of the big debris as we can. And then once that's happened, then we're gonna start to fill our sink up with water. We're gonna clean everything in our sink for this video. With the weather being a little bit chilly still outside, this is the easiest way to do it in our kitchen. For other foraged items, sometimes we'll actually just take the garden hose and spray everything down outside and clean them out there, so that way we're not making a giant mess inside, because Mom does really well keeping our house clean, and we want to respect that, right?
Yep.
Then we're going to dump all of our leeks in. Now this is a couple step process here to make sure that it's as clean as possible, because the last thing we want to is to get a bite that has dirt or twigs in it, because that doesn't taste good, it's not healthy, and it doesn't feel good on our teeth too. So we're initially going to start to take the slimy and sometimes papery husk off of the outside of the ramp bulb. You'll see it kind of sloughing up on the bottom of the ramp. This keeps the ramp itself moist. It's the part that sits under the ground, keeps it kind of protected as well. So once it gets wet, it's going to feel a little bit slimy. If you let it dry, it turns into kind of a papery husk like an onion. You're going to pull that down to the bottom of the ramp bulb and down by the root end. And once that's kind of wadded up, you'll see a lot of the dirt in there. You're going to take your fingers gently and you're going to grab right above where that root is, and you're going to just snap it off. This should snap pretty easily, as long as you're doing it with a little bit of force, but still under control. We're going to toss those roots just into the water, because eventually we're going to pick those out and throw them in the trash or down the garbage disposal, whichever you choose. Now that that has been exposed, like most onions, you'll kind of feel another layer that you can peel off. That layer, because onions grow in layers, that layer we're not going to use. We'll peel that off. And then we're going to make sure that in between all of the leaves here too, with the different areas and the joints there, we're going to make sure that there's no pockets of dirt. And kind of shake that off. And then once that's done there, we're going to move it over to a landing zone. The LZ in this case is a 9x13 pan that we've just got off to the side. It's a place to drop them because they're soaking wet still, and there's still maybe a little bit of dirt. We're going to move through this process. It's going to take us some time, but we are taking our time and being diligent to make sure everything gets cleaned. Once we have cleaned our ramps for the initial clean, we're going to kind of scoop out all of the different bits and pieces that are left in the sink, make sure that those get into the trash. Then we're going to clean out the sink. There's going to be lots of dirt and sand, little bits of tree bark and leaves that we missed, but that means that we've cleaned our ramps successfully for our first go. Make sure that the sink is completely clean. There's going to be a little bit of work to get all that sand up and out, but again, it's worth the work. We're going to clean the ramps for a second time. Now, because we were rinsing everything off in kind of that murky, muddy water, we want to make one last go to clean everything completely, making it free of all the sand and the dirt and everything else. We're going to take and use a salad spinner. This is going to let us fill it up with the ramps, and we're going to be able to fill it up with water, let them float, kind of pushing them in to help make sure that any of the dirt and stuff that's caught in between the ramp leaves will shake loose and it'll fall to the bottom. Once we've done that, we're going to take and pull the basket out, give it a good shake. You'll see all of the debris that may have been missed in that bowl. Dump that out, replace the basket, and then run the spinner. And pushing down on the top there, that'll spin out all the excess water and anything left in there. And that's that. Again, it's a little bit of work, but we want to wash them twice just to make sure that they're fully clean And then at this point right now, we're just gonna keep our ramps for our later recipes here in a Ziploc bag with a paper towel. The paper towel will absorb some of the liquid off of the ramps from the washing process. That'll keep some moisture in the bag, and the ramps will keep for a week to 2 weeks depending upon how damp they are. So now we've got a bundle of clean ramps, and we get to have the most fun with them. We get to cook with them and preserve them. So chefs can do a whole lot with these. We treat them like onions or like scallions, green onions, or leeks. Again, these will have a much different note in the way of kind of a combination of the spice of garlic when you eat it raw. So in comparison to eating just a raw Spanish or white onion, these are not nearly as potent. So for raw preparation, we will use these to make compound butter. Compound butter meaning that we're adding ingredients to a butter. We're compounding flavor, compounding ingredients into one good, awesome, super delicious thing. So we're gonna take the ramp greens, we're gonna leave them raw, and we're going to rough chop them with our knife. We're gonna fold them into room temperature butter with salt and pepper. We're also adding, to make it a little bit more intense, we're adding some actual grated garlic too, because on top of a piece of steak or a baked potato, all of that extra is gonna be absolutely delicious. It's gonna be really, really pungent. It's gonna be oniony and garlicky, but all of the things you want on top of a piece of really nice grilled meat or, again, baked potato. For the stems, chefs love to pickle them. That's preserving them for future use, especially when we get into deep winter time in states that have all 4 seasons. When we get into winter, our vegetables and fruit choices kind of dry up pretty quickly, and we start to cook root vegetables and heavy meat braises. And as great as those things are, we can't wait to show you how to braise meat properly and how to cook root vegetables like beets and carrots and parsnips. We always want something a little bit fresh, or at least kind of an ode to the spring that has gone or the summer yet to come. And once they're pickled, you treat them just like a pickled red onion. You can either chop them up and put them on things, or you can turn them into relishes or chutneys, cook them down a little bit so it's a sweet and sour kind of jam. Goes great on crackers with really nice creamy cheese like brie. And then chefs cook with them. We saute the whole thing. We'll slice the bulb and the stem thinly, rondelle or chiffonade. We'll chiffonade or rough chop the greens, and we'll saute those in with vegetables, treating them again just like an onion. We also love making your favorite dip. What's your favorite dip for chicken nuggets?
Ranch.
Ranch. So our next episode, we're actually going to show you how to make a base ranch, a buttermilk ranch. It's kind of everyone's favorite salad dressing, which is mostly for dipping chicken nuggets or wings or pizza. And then we're gonna give you 5 different variations of ranch because we love y'all. And one of them is gonna include ramps. So we can do all sorts of things with these little buggers, and that's why we love them so much. They're seasonal, they're local, they are delicious, they're fun to forage, and they're versatile. In the meantime too, we would love to hear what you do with them. If you have used them before, or if you go out with your family foraging, we'd love to hear those stories too, because that's what we're doing here. We're, again, community based. We want to build a library of content, but we love hearing from the people that are subscribed to us, that are loving what we're doing. We had a blast doing this, and we have a lot more field trips coming up here in the future too, so we can't wait to do those too. Till then, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.